So, listen to this. Behind every superstar, there's a story. But few are as raw, as heartbreaking, and as inspiring as Kevin De Bruyne's. The quiet boy from Belgium, abandoned, doubted, betrayed, who turned every scar into fuel for greatness. This is the story of the boy who refused to break. It all began in a small Belgian backyard, where a young Kevin couldn't stop breaking flower pots with his powerful shots. His parents, tired of the chaos, forced him to use only his weaker foot. They had no idea that one small rule would help shape one of the most complete footballers of his generation. Even then, football wasn't just a pastime. It was his world, his language, and his escape. By the age of 8, Kevin had already joined his first club, KVV Drongen. 2 years later, he told his coach he wanted more, that the training sessions at Ghent were better. And just like that, the quiet kid packed his bag and left home to chase a dream. But life at Ghent wasn't easy. He wasn't loud or flashy. He was serious, ambitious, and brutally honest. Coaches tried to change him, to make him normal, but nothing worked. One of them would later admit he was stubborn like a mule, but that's exactly what made him great. At 14, Kevin moved again, and this time to Genk. He left everything behind and lived in a boarding home. To help young players settle in, the club arranged foster families, and Kevin was placed with one. For the first time, he felt comfortable. He was doing well in school and playing well in football, and felt like he finally belonged. But then, during a summer break, he came home to find his mother crying. The foster family had called. They didn't want him back. Their words cut deep. It's about who you are. You're too quiet, too difficult. Kevin couldn't understand it. He'd done everything right. That night he went to his backyard, picked up a football and kicked it against a fence for hours, whispering those words to himself over and over. It's about who you are. The next day, he made himself a promise. In 2 months, I'll be in the first team, no matter what. Genk had labeled him a problem and moved him to a boarding house for troubled kids. But Kevin didn't care. He trained harder than ever, his pain burning into determination. A few weeks later, he came off the bench in a youth match and scored 5 goals in one half. Every strike was a message. Too quiet? Goal? Too difficult? Another goal. Not wanted. Another one. It was impossible to ignore him now. Within 2 months, just as he promised, he was promoted to Genk's first team. Over the next few seasons, Kevin became a rising star. With his precision passing and intelligence, he led Genk to their first league title in years, providing 16 assists and scoring 5 goals. They won by half a point, the closest title race in Belgian football history. Even Vincent Kompany, captain of the Belgian national team, said after training with him, he's 19 and already the best player in the team. But Kevin's hunger never faded, he wanted more, and soon Chelsea came calling. The Premier League, the big stage. It should have been the start of a fairy tale. Instead, it became another test. At Chelsea, Kevin was misunderstood again. Quiet, focused, and serious. Not the kind of personality that thrived under Jose Mourinho. He was loaned to Werder Bremen in Germany, and that's where the world truly noticed him. 10 goals, 9 assists, and the Bundesliga's Young Player of the Year. But when he returned to Chelsea, things fell apart. He struggled to find form, and when his girlfriend cheated on him with his Belgian teammate Thibaut Courtois, the media tore him apart. The humiliation was public, the pain personal. He was sold after just half a season and labeled a flop. But once again, De Bruyne turned heartbreak into motivation. He signed for Wolfsburg and began one of the greatest redemption arcs in modern football. At Wolfsburg, he became a machine. 16 goals, 27 assists, a domestic cup title, and Bundesliga Player of the Year. He destroyed Bayern Munich with 2 goals, ending their long unbeaten streak, and earned a spot in the Ballon d'Or shortlist. Off the pitch, he found something even more important: love. He met the woman who would become his wife, someone who helped him find peace in a world that had only given him chaos. By 2015, Manchester City came knocking, paying a record-breaking fee to bring him back to England. The media mocked it. Chelsea flop, they said. But then Pep Guardiola arrived and saw something few ever had. He told Kevin, "You can be a top 5 player in the world." And Kevin believed him. Under Pep, De Bruyne evolved into something more than a midfielder. He became the heartbeat of one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 16 assists, 100 Premier League points, records shattered, defenses dismantled. He wasn't playing with anger anymore. He was playing with love. His success spilled into the international stage. At the 2018 World Cup, De Bruyne helped Belgium achieve their best ever finish, scoring the winner against Brazil and leading his country to the semi-finals. The boy, once abandoned for being too quiet, was now leading his nation. But life wasn't done testing him. In 2019, the day after his second son was born, De Bruyne tore a ligament in his knee. He called his wife and cried, saying, "You'll have 3 babies at home now." She was shocked. She'd never seen him cry, not even at their wedding. Later he said, "Take football away from me and I'm done." When he returned, he didn't just play, he dominated. 20 assists, tying Thierry Henry's all-time record, plus 13 goals. He was named Premier League Player of the Year. Had the Ballon d'Or been awarded that year, he'd have been among the top 5 in the world, and he hasn't stopped since. Title after title, moment after moment, De Bruyne keeps redefining what it means to be complete. Vision, control, passing, composure. He's a masterclass in efficiency. As Pep Guardiola once said, Messi sits at a table by himself, but De Bruyne sits right next to him. From the boy abandoned for being too quiet to the man who commands stadiums with silence, Kevin De Bruyne's journey is more than football. It's a story of resilience, pain, and beauty. A reminder that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, patient, and precise. He was told he was too shy, too strange, too difficult. And yet every pass, every goal, every moment of brilliance was his answer. Kevin De Bruyne didn't need to shout. He let his football speak for him. If this story gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear that pain can build power. Because this is Football Historian, the story behind every kick.